What is up, guys? My name is Jarry. Welcome back to the channel. Today is a brand new video. I know I said I was going to go live, however, the Wi-Fi is a little funky right now, so I figured it's more reliable for me to just do a video today. I apologize. Usually, around like 5 p.m., the Wi-Fi is good, so I assume Saturday's game, I'll be fine to go come up here live. But yeah, so for tonight, like I said, we are doing a video. It's actually probably better as well because it gives me a chance to rest my voice up for Saturday. But tonight, the Montreal Canadiens played the Pittsburgh Penguins. We were in Pittsburgh, actually. Hey. We were in Pittsburgh, actually, and we ended up losing, unfortunately. You can see the final score above me. It was 4-1. If anybody is new here, how we do this is I go through the lines for both teams. I give a little game summary, recap, analysis. I go through the stats for the Montreal Canadiens. Then we get on out of here. If it were live, I would usually be reading your comments and or questions in the chat. However, it's a video, so I can't do that. Post any comments in the description, in the comment section below, and I'll at the very least like it and probably give it a heart. Let's be honest. Yeah. Also, if you enjoy the content, hit the like and subscribe button. That'd be appreciated. Let's get right into it. The opening lines for the Canadiens were Caulfield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, Waugh, Newhook, Anderson, Armia, Evans, Gallagher, and Pearson, White, Ullinen. We'll get into that in a second. Matheson, Gooley, Struble, Harris, Jack-Eye, Savard were on the blue line. Caden Primo gets the start net for the Canadiens, and Jake Allen backs him up, giving Sam Montembeault the night off. The opening lines for the Penguins were Raquel, Crosby, Rust, O'Connor, Malkin, Phillips, Smith, Eller, Pustinen, and Harkins, Achari, Carter on the Penguins offensive lines. Joseph, that sounds like I'm talking about the Steelers, actually, funny enough. But Joseph Letang, Pedersen, Carlson, Graves, Ruhriedel were on the blue line. Tristan Jarry, or Jerry as they called him a lot tonight on the broadcast, but Tristan Jarry gets started net for the Penguins, and Alex Nedeljkovic would back him up as he's been pretty alright this year. Before the game, the Canadiens claimed someone on waivers, Colin White, who was claimed from the Pittsburgh Penguins. He has been claimed. Brendan Gignac, surprisingly, has been placed on waivers as a result of the claim to Colin White. My guess would be maybe this is just a way to get him a couple games, see if he can get a couple points. Maybe fetch a return at the deadline, maybe a 6th round pick. Maybe a team is willing to take a waiver on him as a 4th line center. That means we bring up Gignac if he doesn't get claimed, which I don't think he will because his AHL salary is apparently $150,000, and it's probably the case that most teams don't really want to pay that. So hopefully he doesn't get claimed. I like Brendan Gignac as a 4th line option for the Canadiens, and yeah, I'm not gonna say, by the way, whether or not Colin White played great, Colin White played trash. He literally didn't even have a practice with the team. And so Saturday's game, I think, if he's in the lineup, which I think he will be more indicative of the way that he plays, in my opinion. I went tonight just, okay, we'll see how he does with 0 team practice, not knowing the players, more than likely. And yeah, we'll see how it was. I thought he had an okay game. He did have a very bad turnover in the first, but it actually ended up being pretty good. We'll get into that, though. Yeah, Habs actually get some good press in the opening minutes. All 4 lines get involved with some offense. Shots are 5-0 for the Habs 3 minutes in. The Penguins ice the puck exactly 3 minutes in. Colin White gets his first shift as a Montreal Canadien. Penguins come. I thought it would be really funny if the Pens fans to boot him. Sorry, boys, I'm yawning a lot today. I did not get a lot of sleep last night. But Colin, like I said, I thought it would be really funny if the Penguins fans booed Colin White just because, hey, we loved you yesterday. Today, you're a Canadian. I thought that would have been funny, but yeah. Penguins come back in numbers as the first stop for Primo on a Carlson shot. And Matheson actually has some good D to prevent a Rust scoring chance as there was a near 2-on-1 right before the shot. Arbor Jack-Eye on an Ullinen shot. Rebound just isn't able to bury it. There's a good poke by the Penguins defense. I think that might have been Marcus Pedersen there on that one. Penguins then get a couple chances after a Habs potential burst. Shots are 7-5. Canadiens 8 minutes in, so both teams really getting shots early in this contest. Penguins try to press. Habs come back in numbers. Jack-Eye is a nice hit in the corner. The top line for the Canadiens look to generate a goal. There's a good stick check by the Pens. White has a bad turnover right to Kris Letang. But Kris Letang decides, hey, Mike Matheson, you're still a Penguin. Gives it right to him and immediately realizes, oh shit, no he's not. And the Canadiens score. Mike Matheson Unassisted, I will give the assist to Kris Letang every day of the week there. Pearson with the screen in front, really smart to not move out of the way, but just stay there, get the screen on Jarry. Mike Matheson, like I said, opens the scoring, makes it 1-0 for the Canadiens. A really solid shot to get it through Jarry there. The Canadiens D, I think, have not opened the scoring, have the last 4 goals for the Canadiens, I think, which might be a bit of an issue. I mean, ideally you'd want that top line to be getting more goals than the blue line, but I mean, you know what, I'll take it. I mean, if it means Matheson ends up getting traded for more at the deadline or in the offseason or whatever, I'll gladly take it. Then the Penguins tie the game up 2 minutes later. It's a double screen by Evans and a Penguin as Evans tried to push him out. But the double screen means that Primo isn't able to see a Kris Letang shot, and he ends up tying it up. It's a 1-1 game. Letang scores on his bobblehead night. Yeah, that sucked. I mean, I think it actually would have been better if Evans had just left the guy there, because Primo would have been able to see the shot more. But yeah, that's just something that just kind of sucks. Penguins end up causing some turnovers. There's a near 2-on-1, but Primo ends up bailing the Canadiens out there. Penguins push for the lead. Jack Guy ends up carrying the puck into the zone. There's a good shift for the line that's out there with Jack Guy. They got a couple chances, but just nothing major. Penguins then get looks the other way. Both teams really kind of playing back and forth hockey. Not really a lot of pure defense at this stage. Carlson ends up faking a slapper, then almost gets one by Primo, but there's a good stop. Crosby tries to whack at a somewhat loose puck. Refs are really slow to blow the whistle when Primo covers it. That's when Crosby whacks at it. Yeah, Primo ends up holding. In the final minute, Habs try to press. White almost buries a 2-on-1 rush, but he just misses the net. And so the shots are 13-12 for the Canadiens, but it's a 1-1 tie game after the first period. Canadiens, early in the second, they start to press. There's a first-line burst. Jack Guy has a nice shot. Anderson then gets whacked with a slash in front of the net. There's no call, of course. Then the Habs end up going to the power play anyways. Rust gets called for a trip on Caulfield. Jarry makes a solid stop on Caulfield on a 2-on-1. Jack Guy has a big shot that's blocked. The Habs just can't get anything. We're 0-for-1 on the power play. Right after that Jack Guy slapper that's blocked, the Brian Rust is out of the box. I'd hope he's not in the net, but he comes out of the box. Penguins try to spring him, but it's called on an icing as he was not able to get it. Primo then stops the Canadiens on a rush chance the other way. Solid pair of stops. Another one goes off the post as the Penguins pressure. Jack Guy and Savard were held out for about 2 minutes. Canadiens then look to press. Penguins getting a couple straight chances. Then the Penguins go to the power play. This guy, Brendan Gallagher, ends up taking a hold, getting called for a hold on Jeff Carter. And they score. 6 seconds in, Brian Rust, the man who was in the box a couple minutes earlier, he tips home a shot from Erik Karlsson, and it's a 2-1 Penguins lead. 6 seconds in, you can't leave Karlsson wide open like that. He's going to get a good shot off. It looked like it had also been tipped originally, but and it's not like a tip in front. It's actually a tip from behind the net. Unless I gave the assist to Rust and he was in front of the net, but there was someone there who was able to bury it. But either way, it's a 2-1 Penguins lead. And then 21 seconds later, by the way, the Habs are 4 to the penalty kill. 21 seconds later, Drew O'Connor scores on a rebound. That's just a good chance that ends up beating Primo. And the Habs have been deflated. Thank you very much, Brendan Gallagher. He wears the A with pride. What else is there to say? Clearly, he does. And yeah, just Habs were completely deflated. The Penguins took advantage of a really shitty Brendan Gallagher chance. A really shitty Brendan Gallagher power play. And the Penguins go right back. Jack Guy's called for a trip on Malkin. I get why they call it a trip. Malkin maybe embellishes slightly. I think it actually was more so a cross-check. I think that was the one I was thinking of. It still was probably a penalty. Kind of a reputation call, it feels like. Habs come in shorthanded, though. There's a couple good kills. Suzuki ends up nearly breaking in. Armia ends up killing time by holding the puck against the boards. That's something I noticed about Armia is he's been a very solid penalty killer this year. He's gotten some offense. I think it's 9 goals on the year. We'll check with the stats later. But Armia has been a very solid second, third pair penalty killing guy, and I think that's something that teams might end up actually looking at if they want to acquire Armia at the deadline. His contract is a little expensive, $3.2 million, I think it is. But I think the Canadiens, if they can get back a third for Armia, I think that's solid, actually. I like Armia this year. I think he's been a solid penalty killer. He's gotten good chances. He hasn't scored in a while. But I think that that Armia has played a lot better than he has in the last 2 to 3 seasons. Again, he's a good penalty killer. I think teams will see potential value in that. If not this year, I think definitely next year. There might be some value in a guy like Yoel Armia. Because as well, I believe Yoel Armia, I think, if I can look on CapFriendly real quick, I want to say the Canadiens have 2 slots open next year. I'm assuming that we're trading Allen with retention and he's signed into next year. No, so actually, Edmondson's is off the books after next year, but Petrie still has 1 more year. And then we'll probably have to retain on Allen, so we'll actually have 1 open slot next year. I could see maybe retaining salary on Dvorak, but I think Armia would be a decent trade target. He's 30. He's going to be 31 next year. I think if you can look at a guy like Armia and think, hey, that's a decent third-line guy. Will you retain 50%? We'll give you a second instead of a third. I don't think it'll get to that level, but $1.6 million for a decent third-line option, I think that's solid, and I think that could be worth a little bit. I mean, hell, we've seen teams pay a first-round pick for third, fourth-line guys. That'd be great if Armia could go for that, but I think probably a second, maybe a third. I think that's probably what Armia ends up fetching, but again, he had a solid penalty kill. I don't know how we got into him being traded, but I did. That's what happens when I don't have a chat. But the Habs end up being 1 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight. Canadiens looking to press, but a lot of dump and chase. Penguins are able to intercept some pucks. Final seconds of the second. I'll say that 3 times fast. The Habs look for something, but the Penguins just end up killing time. Shots end up being 25-24 for the Penguins, actually. And it's a 3-1 lead for the Penguins after the second period as well. Canadiens look to press early on. There's a couple chances again for the top line. The Canadiens' first line was really the line that was working the best for the Canadiens, as it's been since the All-Star break and since we've traded Sean Monahan. I think the fourth line with Brendan Gignac and Michael Pezzetta has had good looks, good opportunities at times. But the first line has really been the only one that's really generating a lot of offense. Andy's line is not great. Newhook should be a winger, and it sucks that Kirby Dach is hurt because he kind of has to play center for now. And then the Evans line, it's not horrible. It's just they got Brendan Gallagher on that line. They're very limited in what they can do offensively and defensively as well. Again, that's not to say they're a horrible line, because I think Evans is a very solid defensive forward. It's just, again, they're very limited in what they can do. You know, and as well, I wanted to say this for about a month now, and I'll say it here because Andy has just not done. Actually, no, fuck it. I'll wait because Andy actually does get mentioned in my notes, and I'll mention it there. But yeah, top line tries to generate early. Waugh ends up getting boarded. Nothing called. Thankfully, he was up quickly. It looked like he wasn't too hurt. Habs go to the power play as Raquel gets called for a trip on Suzuki. Habs end up pressuring. Safkovsky has a nice shot stopped. Another stop by Jarry. Slav has a wide open net. That ends up getting stopped. Caulfield also had one, I should say, stopped in the first period. That was a really solid shot by, really solid stop by Jarry. If he had shot maybe a foot higher, 4 inches maybe, it probably goes in, but Jarry just made a good save on both of those attempts. Pens end up easily killing when the second unit gets out there, so the Habs are 0 for 2. On the power play, and off a turnover by the Penguins, there's a good chance for Caulfield, but that's easily gloved by Jarry. Habs actually lead in the shot department 6-0 after 6 minutes of play. Habs then go back to the power play as Russ is called for a trip on Matheson. Habs get nothing. The Penguins easily end up killing that one off. Just got... This is something frustrating about the power play. We've, up until last night, we'd scored, I think, 10 power play goals in our last 10 games. Pretty alright power play. And then the last 2 games, it's just, well, I mean, they get 1 or 2 good chances, but just half of them don't look good. Like, I've wanted to be a little less hard on Alex Burrows recently because the power plays were... Maybe I should go back to saying fire Burrows, because we started a really hot power play streak when I said fire Burrows. So you know what? I hope we fire Alex Burrows. There we go. Maybe, hopefully... Yeah, I hope we fire Burrows. I'll say that. That's all I really need to say. And hope that fixes the issues. Habs end up leading in the shot department 10-1 halfway through the period. Struble ended up heading down the tunnel. I didn't see what happened, but he apparently needed to be helped down the tunnel as he was hurt. So I would think Kovacevic comes back in next game if he's hurt in any way. Hopefully it's just something really stung and he's out for the game and he's back on Saturday. Hopefully that's the case, but if he does need to miss a game or two, I would assume Kovacevic gets in the lineup. I don't think we go to Logan Mailloux or call Justin Barron just yet. Speaking of which, Justin Barron, he does exist. He is in the AHL. A lot of people seem to have forgotten about him. Anaheim, we know you like defensemen. Justin Barron's available if you want to give us Trevor Zegras. We can put him in the package. Then we get a bit of a scrap as Josh Anderson ends up running right into Tristan Jarry, who comes out to play a puck. Pettersson ends up giving a little bit of cross check. They end up going after each other against the boards. There's a little bit of pushing. A couple guys get involved. Anderson and Pettersson both end up getting called for roughing. And this is where I want to say the milk carton with Andy. It's out of pure frustration. It has not been a haha, let's laugh at Josh Anderson. It has not been that. With Galley, it 100% is, because he's a fucking shell of what he once was 5, 6, 7 years ago. 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we gonna masturbate. I don't fucking know. But with Anderson, with Josh Anderson, it's out of frustration. Because I might get heat for saying this, but I want to express this. Josh Anderson has all the tools to be a 40-goal scorer. He's big. He can be physical. He's got speed. He's got a solid shot when he's on. The issue is he's not on often. Look at that hot streak he had once he scored this first goal of the year. He had a pretty good streak. What was it? 6 goals in 13 games, something like that? He has the tools to be a 40-goal scorer. He has just been so goddamn inconsistent that he just does not know how to turn it on often. This is a guy that I've seen for 5, 6 straight games, it feels like at this point. When he gets the puck, it's the same exact play. Come along the right or the left side board, cross in, go behind the net, come in on a wrap, and try to hand it off. And very rarely does it work now. Very rarely has it actually worked. Josh Anderson, I'm conflicted. I really want to get rid of him. And even if it's just a fifth you get at this point, good, get rid of him. And at the same time, I know when we get rid of him, he's going to turn into a 30-goal scorer. He will have a 30-goal season. Because this is a guy who just doesn't have the heart in Montreal. I will say this. Josh Anderson, again, I don't want to hate Josh Anderson. I liked him when he first came to Montreal. I thought he was really clutch in the 2021 playoffs. Of course, the play against Vegas with Marc-Andre Fleury. But he was really solid in those playoffs. It just has not been there for him since then. And I don't know if it's a case where it's a team player not mixing well, if it's the fact that he's stuck on a third line, even though he got second line minutes pretty recently. I think even tonight he was on the second line, technically. But it's frustrating with Josh Anderson because he has the talent. He has the skill. He just cannot get it together for more than a handful of games. Because I guarantee if Josh Anderson were to play a full season at fairly decent level even, he'd be a 20, 30 goal scorer. This is a guy who knows how to put the puck in the net, but he just can't do it. Genuinely. I honestly think at the deadline you have to try and ship Josh Anderson off in some way. And I don't care if all you get back is a 5th round pick and you have to eat a contract, for a year, 2, 3 years. Almost any other contract in the league is better than Josh Anderson's, it feels like. It just, I want to like Josh Anderson, but there's just nothing that he's done this season really that has wowed me. There was what was it, 21 games without a goal to start the season. He hasn't scored in 7 months going back to last year until he got his first this year. That's why I'm so frustrated with a guy like Anderson, because he has potential, or he had potential, I should say. Motherfucker's 28 now, but he had the potential to be a legitimate top 6 power forward. He doesn't use the body whatsoever. He doesn't get physical. He won't drop the gloves. He refuses to take solid shots. He's strong. He refuses to take slap shots, even looking for rebounds. He refuses to take one-timers. This is a guy who has immense amounts of speed, and very rarely will he actually use it. He barely knows how to skate at this point, it feels like. It honestly feels like I'm watching fucking Brendan Gallagher out there sometimes when I see Josh Anderson. The only deciphering factor is the fact that Andy's about a foot taller than Brendan Gallagher. At least it fucking feels like that. So yeah, 4-on-4. Habs press early. There's a little bit of life. Newhook and Slav end up getting a 2-on-1, but they just can't score on it. Penguins end up looking for more shots as they were stuck on, I think, 2 in the period at this point. Penguins get control of the game. They know Jarry's not going to allow a goal at this point. Even if they do, they're probably going to be able to hold on. Armia's line nearly pushes. He actually has a shot that's just tipped wide of the net. Habs tried to press with 5 minutes left. Caulfield not able to get a good shot off right off a face-off. Canadiens just no heart and no real fight left in the game. And it's tough. I completely get it. It's tough. You know, you're coming up back off the All-Star break at this point. You're, I think, 12 points out of a playoff spot. You're probably not going to make it. The only way they do is if they go on at least a 7-8 game winning streak at this point and hope all the teams in front of them just keep losing their games, which, judging how the Islanders lost tonight, oh God. But yeah, there's just... I get that it's tough, and there's going to be a tough schedule for the rest of the season. We're apparently a top 5 toughest schedule in the National Hockey League. But I'd expect a little bit more. Maybe it's taking Gignac out of the lineup, and I can't believe I'm saying this. Maybe it's taking Michael Pezzetta out of the lineup. Genuinely. Look at how hard we played with Pezzetta and Xhekaj in the lineup. And I'm not saying Xhekaj is being carried by Pezzetta, not whatsoever. Because teams will still not really go after our guys with Xhekaj being in the lineup right now. But when Pezzetta was in the lineup, he at least provided some energy. You could put out a good fourth line and think, okay, fourth line's out there, we're probably going to press at least somewhat. For some reason, you take Pezzetta out and you put Jesse Ylönen in. And I know, there are Habs fans that like Jesse Ylönen. He's not going to pan out. I guarantee you. He is not going to turn into much more than your typical bottom 6 forward, too skilled for the bottom 6, but he's not defensive enough for a bottom 6 role. So he's kind of stuck in that, he has potential, you know. He's kind of stuck in that place where Yoel Armia was for a couple years. It seems Armia finally developed the defense this year, but still. Just, I don't know. It's frustrating with a guy like Jesse Ylönen because he's on the fourth line, but he just does nothing there. He does nothing to warrant more ice time, you know. And that is one thing that I do like with Marty St. Louis is a guy with Jesse Ylönen. He probably has wanted to give him more ice time, third, second line ice time. And he's gotten that occasionally, but he does nothing with that ice time. We're at the point with Jesse Ylönen, to me, in my opinion, I'd put Pezzetta in the lineup over Ylönen. Now, would I put Pezzetta in over Pearson? Yeah, obviously. I'd probably keep Ylönen in because he is still young. But Pearson's going to be gone in 2 weeks anyways. The deadline is literally 14, 15 days away by the time you guys are watching this. I assume nobody's watching this after the deadline because that'd be weird. But if you are, thank you. Someone's going to come back and watch this and say, hey, I watched after the trade deadline. Thank you. But Pearson's going to be gone in 2 weeks anyways. So you're going to have that time to play Jesse Ylönen. And let's be honest, Ylönen probably ends up getting potential third line time. He has gotten that because I think last 2 games, Galley was on the fourth line and Ylönen was on the third line, I'm pretty sure. So a guy like Ylönen, it's tough, but there's just nothing. There's an empty net with 2 minutes left. Letang from his own zone just shoots it down, and it ends up going in. 2-goal game for Kris Letang. It's a 4-1 Penguins lead, and that'll seal the game up. Habs in the final minute try to press. Galley tries a wrist shot. Nothing good can happen there. He ends up missing, I believe. Habs lose yet again. It's a 4-1 loss to the Penguins this time. The final shots are 32-27 for the Canadiens, actually. So Tristan Jarry with a very solid game. The Canadiens both getting goal lead and just not really pushing all that much, unfortunately. So, yeah. Saturday, what do we do? My guess is probably Montembeault's in net, unless they really want to try and showcase Jake Allen. Maybe he gets into the lineup, but just no clue. Genuinely no clue. But yeah, we'll see though. We'll see what happens with Jake Allen. We'll see who gets in net on Saturday. Yeah. Not really much else to say about this game. It just kind of sucked. So, yeah, we're going to get into the final stats for the Canadiens, and then we'll get on out of here. Nick Suzuki leads the team with 20 goals, 33 assists, 53 points. Cole Caulfield's got 19 goals, 26 assists, 45 points. Mike Matheson, 8 goals, 34 assists, 42 points. Sean Monahan, when he was with the Canadiens, had 13 goals, 22 assists for 34 points. Jarry, 12 goals, 18 assists, 30 points. Brendan Gallagher, 8 goals, 8 assists, 16 points. Jake Evans, 4 goals, 12 assists, 16 points. Alex Newhook, 8 goals, 7 assists, 15 points. Josh Anderson, 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points. Caden Gooley, 4 goals, 10 assists, 14 points. Yoel Armia has 9 goals, 3 assists for 12 points. Justin Barron, who's currently down in Laval, has 6 goals, 6 assists, 12 points. David Savard with 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points. Tanner Pearson, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. Michael Pezzetta, 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points. Jonathan Kovacevic with 6 goals, 2 assists, 8 points. Christian Dvorak, who's unfortunately out for the remainder of the year, as well as Jesse Ullinen, each have 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. Raphael Harpinard, who's probably out for the rest of the year with a goal, 6 assists, 7 points. Arbor Jacka, 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points. Jaden Struble, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. Jordan Harris with a goal, 5 assists for 6 points. Gustav Lindstrom, when he was with the Canadiens, had 3 goals and assists for 4 points. Joshua Waz got the exact opposite of a goal, 3 assists for 4 points. Mitchell Stevens, who's currently back down in Laval, he's got 2 goals and assists for 3 points. Kirby Doc, who is unfortunately out for the remainder of the year. Caden Primo and Sam Montembeau each have 2 assists. Brandon Gignac has a goal, who's currently down in Laval, I'll say, because hopefully he doesn't get claimed tomorrow, but yeah, we'll see. And Jake Allen has a 1 assist this year. Caden Primo has the lone shutout for the Canadiens. He made a 13-save shutout against the Ducks. That was their last win. In terms of fights, Michael Pezzetta leads the team with 6. Arbor Jack has got 4. 3 with Josh Anderson's got 3. Caden Gooley and Jonathan Kovacevic each have 2. Jarry, Tanner Pearson, and Jaden Struble each have a singular fight this year. So yeah, that is going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, favorite channel includes on everything which includes but not limited to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and everything else. My name is Jarry. Subscribe to join the Puff Club, Haste Club, Sub Hub, D Nation. If you're a member of the Mod Squad, thank you for on the comments and reviews is much greatly appreciated. Links in the description are the Amazon wishlist, the PO Box, PayPal, the Discord, Letterboxd, Speedrun account, the Streamlabs, the Twitch, and the Hab Normals podcast row down there as well. Thank you guys again for watching. I don't always remember, no matter how bad we were last year, how bad we are like this year, or how good we'll be in the future. Go Habs, go baby. Thank you guys again for watching. My name is Rice. Again, and I'm out. Love you guys. See you guys. Bye guys. Love you guys. See you guys. Bye guys. Love you guys. See you guys. Bye guys.